What else you can glaze?
Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to another session of Dragonmark Symphony here on Natural One Media. My name is Dylan. I will be your GM for the evening, here with my friends as we continue from our last session. And you all know exactly what happened last time, don't you?
Absolutely.
I know.
Yeah.
I was there.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was definitely there.
I was definitely verbal during the entire thing.
Yeah. So
As
that
all
makes
puzzle
Franny the
sessions
perfect
are.
person to describe what happened. So, Franny, how did we get kicked off?
We got kicked off by being kicked out.
What?
So that makes no
I
sense.
wish.
However, what the majority of last session was us versus door, as we've encountered a door puzzle in which there was a portable hole on the ceiling, which Silva had to repeatedly stick their head in and to grab doorknobs, as this puzzle dealt with, I want to say 12 doorknobs?
It was 9, but a number of them were dupes.
Right, 9, and then the extra one that was on the door that we tried pulling originally, and it came right off. So we had to figure that puzzle out. During that fiasco,
Very dumb.
yes, during that fiasco, Silva now has a portable hole because we've made off with the storage unit that was where all the doorknobs were. We broke a couple, which is
So does Franny,
A
by
lot.
the way.
Not just a couple.
Yes.
I broke a lot.
yes.
Once I had determined that I had all that I needed, I was like, this shit's getting out of here.
I believe your exact terminology was, I would like to shovel these out with my arm.
Yep.
Exactly. It was a good time and a long process, but nevertheless, we got through it by the skin of our teeth and the girth of our loins. But after we got through the puzzle, we encountered a person with black hair, piercing green eyes,
Yeah.
no facial hair, which is weird, considering who's all on the stream, wearing an animal skull.
Hey, I have no facial
Told
hair.
me.
What do you mean?
Right, sorry. Spoilers for Marshall's actual face reveal.
Don't dox him.
I'm not a Whopper commercial.
Whopper.
Wearing an animal skull pauldron. He was also tall and thin. When we entered, he would not identify himself. In his words, he said, "This is probably for the best that I do my business and you do your business." And the Wizard of the Tower was very much dead. This guy was not the Wizard of the Tower. The Wizard of the Tower was in a chair. Dylan, correct me if I'm incorrect at the state of decomposition he was in. Was it skeleton?
He was, no, there was still meat on the bone, but very sallow and sunken. Like, definitely seemed like he'd been there for years, which didn't make sense, but.
Gotcha. So he's been
very much decomposing.
A decomposed body, still decomposing body of the wizard that we were all going to try to kick the ass of, but it was no longer the case. I mean, we still could, but you're kicking a dead body, and that has its own ramifications and other stuff. Nevertheless, this random
going to ramification this.
Well,
no ramifications.
Well, possibly this guy, as even though he wouldn't say his name, he did offer to cure Silva of her lycanthropy, which he did. So as we're about to leave, I believe it was Johannes that made the connection of like, wait a minute, I think I know this person.
And I said, would you happen to know anything about the name TYZ?
And then the guy pulled out a shank and stabbed Johannes 13 times.
And now I'm dead.
Well, that
in
might
real
happen
life.
still. The jury's out there on that part.
Right.
We got one step before that.
This part is me guessing about the future, but in reality, it stopped when he's turned to us. I believe he said something like you should know that information or something like that.
So
No, he said, I would be the one to know that or something like that.
Yeah.
No, it was
and that's
he
where
pulled the opened the door for us, about to walk in. Johannes asked that question, closes
Shut
the
the
door, and
right. I
then
forget.
turns and says, I might know something. I may have an idea about that.
Something like
That's
that.
what
Yeah.
he said.
I might
And
be
then-
But
familiar.
that was our session last week.
One other important thing I will mention
Yes.
is that he had something with him, if you all recall.
Oh, he had a book. He had
Yeah,
a
he had the
big book. We
He had the
didn't know what it
wizard's
was.
book.
Right.
It was very clearly
Right,
at
this
least
guy
the
knew-
wizard's book.
This guy knew how to read.
Like a wizard? What a weirdo.
I know.
Dude, imagine knowing how to read.
Imagine reading as a hobby.
But yeah, outside of Bennett's noticeable Canadian interruption there, yeah, that was a very good recap.
Imagine
and-
reading so much as a hobby that you create a podcast series due to the lore from it.
Right?
Crazy.
Imagine-
Yeah, I
imagine
love the
going
3-body
through a-
problem. Okay, so we're gonna so we're gonna get into the session now with that perfect recap, because that brings us right to where we were at. All of you are still inside of the domicile of the wizard, who sits, Cressius, the great wizard there, who sits very clearly dead, covered in cobwebs and filth and visibly decayed, and a person who stands next to them, who Johannes had asked if they knew about TYZ. So, a snap of the fingers, the door closes. He turned to all of you with a cold, cold, dark expression and said, I may know of them, yes. How do you know of them?
Well, we met
Rest.
we met many of his clones out on the island, the Isle of Cressia.
But you didn't meet them specifically.
We've been told that he and the other wizards of this tower have been missing for quite a long time, a concerning amount of time.
Well, part of that concern, at least for one of them, seems to be clear of their result.
Mm-hmm.
You said before that you were only here for Cressius. And he kind of lightly glances over at the decayed corpse in the chair. Why do I get the sense you're not telling me everything you know?
Well, look, our main reason for coming to this tower truly was the lycanthropy, but as we've explored and found out more, we've been exposed to a number of concerning and interesting tales and histories of what's going on here. I'm a sailor. Can you blame me for wanting to sail uncharted waters?
I don't see a boat.
I'm assuming since you like to read so much, you've heard of a metaphor.
Good.
His eyes kind of dart around to all of you. I can't take a risk. You all feel a wave of some sort of arcane energy sort of wash
Oh,
over
no, he's
you,
giving
as if it's
back
flooding
the
over the
lycanthropy.
entire room.
You can use all lycanthropy.
It sort of floods over you. You feel it kind of like moving through the room like it's a physical presence. And as he brings his hand down, which one of you possesses a book?
Well, I have a few books. I have my spell book. I've got a guide of slaying giants. I've got a bird flight patterns. I've got his and herbs.
Dak pulls out the Steal Thy Heart with Iron, the romance book by Elias Kingsley that he still has.
Set. You see that as the others are talking, the figure's gaze slowly rotates to you and locks eyes with you.
Yeah, I mean, I have a book too, but just a book.
Just a book.
Yeah.
Then you wouldn't mind if I ask for it.
Why?
Because if it's the book I'm thinking of, it belongs to me.
And who are you? I don't think have you introduced yourself?
No. No, I have not.
Okay, well, that doesn't get us anywhere in this conversation. You say the book is yours, yet you do not tell us your name.
You speak to Erebus and Thel. You recognize this name, don't you?
Okay, so maybe this book is yours, but just because you wrote it doesn't mean that it's like yours.
Is this some sort of logic puzzle I don't follow?
I mean, no, just a question of ownership. It had been abandoned. I found it. It's now mine.
It was not abandoned. It was taken from me. Of sorts. Contains many things.
What's his last name again?
Nervous hunt, though.
Thanks.
I mean, yes, you say it was taken from you, but that's one side of the story. I found it in a place, left alone, no one around to claim it for their own, so I claimed it for myself. If you would like to have the book, I need, make me an offer.
We bargaining, baby.
We only knew what we were bargaining.
It's gotta be good.
That's always sound logic.
I've parlayed with thieves before.
I wouldn't call myself a thief.
How about this?
Buddy, with thieves for.
Erebus takes the immense leather tome in his hand. And he levitates it so that it's floating up in the air beside his head. Most of what I need from Cressius, I've already gotten from this tome. I can accrue the rest in my own time. That journal in your possession is rightfully mine, and it means much more to me. I'm willing to trade you and your arcane adept friend this tome from Cressius. Years of magical history. Available at the turn of a page.
Okay, but like you said, you got that from Cressius. So that's not you really offering me anything. You clearly, yeah, you want this book, but like,
Like, what's in it for me?
yeah, like, I'm, open to negotiation, but it needs to, be it needs to be a trade-off. What are you giving up, really? You said you got most of what you wanted from it, so it's more of you just discarding it, is it not?
The tome lands flat in his hand. There's something about you that makes me trepidatious.
I can't imagine why.
What do you want?
Great question. I would say... No, go ahead.
I feel like part of this depends on that, I think with Johannes there, we've somewhat learned a little bit, have an idea who you are. I think part of our concern that we are not working with at the moment is you are looking to attain Cressius, power from Cressius. Clearly there's something in this book that inherently is important to your own acknowledgement. Apparently, if it's a spell book of some time, I very much understand what that means. Magic that you have not had access to for some time, eventually. It's one thing to get personally stronger. It's another thing to clearly seek someone else's powers. So the part of, I think, what helps us figure out what it is that we need to get from you or gauge from you, whatnot. What is your goal in all of this? What are you trying to get out of this trade, taking from Cressius?
I am not foolish enough to reveal my deepest, darkest plans to anyone. I've learned that lesson the hard way many a time. All you need to know is that the journal in your possession did belong to me, and it is of great sentimental value to me.
And I, maybe I'm just feeling a type of way, but the more that you want this, the less I want to give it to you, because that seems like it could potentially be dangerous. We don't know what's in this book. We don't know what we would be giving you. Could you explain what this book is about?
Have you opened it yet?
I've looked through it.
If you really looked through it, you wouldn't be asking these questions of me.
Didn't really have much time to look very closely at it. We were in a bit of a rush.
As am I. So if we could make this negotiation brisk. What do you want? I've already cured your friend of lycanthropy.
What about Dak?
What about who?
Well, our friend here has found himself unable to speak due to some of the magics in this horrendous tower. Any way that you can know of how we can find a way to help him?
He snaps his fingers. Dak, you feel a probing sensation going into your mind. Make a wisdom saving throw for me, please. Unless you want him to enter your mind fully.
That's 16.
Okay. You feel this probing beginning to, like your mind is gently being squeezed. But your mind, though many may not be aware of it, is actually pretty substantial in its own right. And you almost effortlessly just fight off this urge, this feeling. And you actually see...
Sorry, was this the detect thoughts spell?
Make an Arcana check.
7.
Not sure.
Would I get advantage if I also know the detect thoughts spell? Although I call it Mind's Revelation.
No, because this isn't quite detect thoughts.
Gotcha. Then Dak will make a connection with Mr. Erebus and say,
Oh, send her right back. Okay.
yeah, just communicate with him because I don't have any spell slots. Dak will say, hello. It would appear as if you are checking my mind for ailments. I can outright tell you what has happened.
Rierdrin. Fascinating. You're a long way from home.
Yes. Yes. Forgive me, most people aren't quick to make the connection. When they do, they don't respond favorably. The ailment that my friend has mentioned is that I seem to have passed away.
I love the bluntness of that.
But I came back, but at a cost. The cost is my breath. I'm unable to speak. I don't believe I'm breathing at the moment.
1 second, please.
For a second there, I thought Dylan was going to do a backflip. Don't know why. It just looked like he was positioning himself to do like a backflip. But yeah, hi everybody. Shout out to Morgana that is blending into Kevin's
in
couch
the
right now.
background there.
She is sitting there.
The best
Oh,
part
all
though
we
is
can-
on this stream, she's being covered by Set's portrait.
That
Perfect.
So she is truly. You can kind of see her head to the left of Set's head.
I just saw two eyes and I thought, oh yeah, it's Morgana.
Yeah, you can actually you can just see her eyes if you look really closely.
Oh, she turned away. She's getting bashful.
The ice cube machine in my fridge was making noise, and it sounded like someone was knocking on the door.
Oh.
Anyway,
Yes. Shout out to Kumo as well, who hasn't signed his waiver to be on camera, so he's pixelated
He's blurred.
he's in the witness protection program.
as he is. But yes. I tell him straight up that I cannot breathe.
This is admittedly out of my area of expertise.
I would imagine I would be more surprised if it was within your realm of expertise, sir.
You claim to have been dead before.
I've been told several times.
Were you visited by angels, perhaps? Or demons? Devils?
It is. When I passed, I can only assume that I was visited by an Altavar. But as I am still here, I am unsure. Altavars in our culture are dark spirits. Their equivalents would be your demons and devils, but of a different class. I can only assume that the path that I found myself on came about due to meddling from Altavars. I had planned to speak with, hopefully get in contact with one of the Inspired to ask for guidance, but we have been in this tower, and I am unfortunately not myself at the moment.
I'm afraid I cannot bring you back to what you once were. There are few on this plane who could.
Even if you were to inform us of a person who could assist, that would be more than enough. And at least for me.
I do.
And then we can add that as part of the deal. That is okay with you, sir.
The tome and my connection.
Your connection also would be someone who has dealt with people returning back to life, or would it be specific to my current ailment?
To speak of life and death. They will know.
Good. Thank you, sir. Please allow me a moment as I converse with my companions here. I'm gonna break the connection with him. Connect with Set. Set.
Yes, Tech.
Spoke with the gentleman, Erebus. He is including the name of someone who can assist with matters of life and death for you and I.
And speaking to Erebus, I'll go. That information, along with any information that you have on House Thorani, and this tome is yours.
Thorani. So that's the smell I picked up off of you.
What?
I mean, we have been in this tower for a while, but I don't think I smell that bad.
Do your compatriots know? Hard to imagine anyone would want to travel with you after this. Then again, what would I know? I've never particularly danced with the houses, especially not those with such dark reputations.
I'm not quite sure that I follow you, but my party members know that I have beef with House Thorani, you'd say.
Patriot, then.
What?
Dun, 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 dun.
I never
The
heard
lullaby,
this
really
once. This is the first time I've
he's
ever heard
lying.
this.
He's lying.
Kidding.
I'm sure to disappoint you. As I said, I do not dalliance with the houses on too many occasions. I know some things. Theranis, I have stayed out of their view as much as I can.
Probably for the best.
I suppose you would know better than any of them. They have taken a liking to experimentation.
You don't have to tell me twice.
What if I told you that Cressius had connections to the house?
Depending on if they were positive or negative. Might stab his body a few times.
The tome, once again, levitated into the air, brought to the forefront. If there is any information, it is likely in here. As time drew on, Cressius retreated inward into his own mind. The only time he expelled his thoughts were into this tome. Everything he knew, everything he suspected, everything he had acquired, it went into this book. And Cressius was very fond of experimentation.
You get it wrong with those bastards then. Done deal. I'll take the tome out of my bag and I'll just kind of toss it over to him.
He catches it. Levitates the tome just out of reach. Forgive me, I need a free hand. It is legitimate. No forgery to be seen.
Good to know.
A deal is a deal. And he swipes the tome, and it sort of gently glides across the room towards you.
Once it gets close enough, I'll just grab it and just put it in the pack.
You snatch it from the air, and you are immediately met with a surprising amount of heft. This is a large book. It like a couple pounds. Enormous book, hundreds of pages to it. Very old, very thick leather bound. No writing on the front of the back.
I'll just kind of go that away and be like, we can, just to the rest of the group, be like, we can get back to this later when we are rested and in a safer area. I hate this tower.
I love being free of towers.
Well, being free.
America.
Now then, with the tome, I also provide information on Theranis, but there's still the matter of your mute friend here. I will honor your request as well, so listen close. You are familiar with the city of towers, yes? Far to the south of us. The city of Sharn.
Yes,
Hmm.
we're familiar.
I make the connections to say yes.
If you find yourselves within that city one day, visit the lower levels. Ask to see the flower. If you're speaking to the right person, they will ask you what type of flower. Tell them blue rose or hellebore. You must say both. They will bring you to the person you seek. But understand that you will have eyes on you at all times. The information they provide, it does not come freely. And it is dangerous in the wrong hands. More so in the right ones.
Is this information familiar to me, having operated in Sharn for a little while?
Make a history check for me. I would say actually all of you could make this particular history check.
Yes, please. There's you said some words that
12.
I got an 18.
You had 19. Not to one up
Copying me.
Johannes or anything. Yeah.
15.
Okay. So Silva and Set, not quite. You're definitely familiar with the lower levels of the city, obviously, but the flower, never heard of it. Nothing. Johannes, you've heard of stories told in restaurants you were working at. Tall tales, or seemingly tall tales, spun by sous chefs as they recanted criminal organizations that they once cooked for. And there was talk once of a flower. And if you served them a meal that was even the tiniest bit off from what they requested, you would never be seen again. Dak. You've also heard something of the flower. Being on the streets as much as you have means overhearing a lot of conversations. But you didn't hear about this on the streets. You heard about this in the house that provided you a home. You heard about this from Ralphus. Only once. And even he, as arrogant as he may have been, there was fear in his voice when he mentioned it. The flower is the reason that Ralphus ended up at the house.
Understood. Dak will take in the information, make those connections that he said that he made. Look at Erebus and say, mentally, of course, may many blessings go upon your path, as I thank you for this information.
You are too kind. Do not waste it on me. So, I believe that is our deal.
Yes. Thank you. And I apologize for being so difficult.
I suppose it's all right. If I really wanted to, I could have killed all of you in an instant. I'll admit you tripped my curiosity.
I wasn't even using 10% of my power.
Now then. Snaps his fingers, and the magical door, once again, reappears. I'm leaving. In 10 seconds, this door will close behind me. Either take it or don't. Your decision.
I'm already walking through the door.
Wait, one more thing. Does the name Ronald Reagan mean anything to
You
you?
should shut up.
Erebus gives you a cold stare and says, "Winners don't do drugs."
No!
And then a bald eagle calls out somewhere in the distance.
I knew he was a narc. I knew he was a narc. Okay. Yeah, I will start heading towards...
But seriously, get the hell out. And he is also going to take his leave through the door.
Fell after everybody.
Traveling through the door is almost instantaneous. You step through and just, and you are back outside. If any of you look behind you, you see the tower, just as it was, standing tall. Still sun in the sky.
Anyone want to go and beat up that old man who said to go check out the wizard's tower?
After a good night's rest and a hot bath, I think those come first, but absolutely. And I will just flip off the tower and just start walking away.
Dak will see Set doing that, look at the tower, look at Set, look at the tower, and then mimic the hand motion, but clumsily. As now Dak knows how to stick up the middle finger.
I just want to get out. Want some rest.
Just kind of like lay down in the dirt.
The stereotypical kissing the dirt, like
Land.
The temptation is there.
So you are all now, you have left the tower. You are back in the town itself. What would you like to do next? Silva has been cured of her lycanthropy, and seemingly you are good to go.
We were like, let's go to Passage, and then we were in like the ghost demon cornfield, and then we got bit by werewolves, and then we were in...
when we get back to the town,
let's walk there first.
figure out how long it's been. If there was any
sun was still up.
dilation, if there was any.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is it could have been? We were in the tower for 3 seconds in the real world. We could have been in the tower for a year, like fucking wizard.
Sure. Right, like us in real life. In the tower for like a year.
Yeah, I think first things first is find someone that we're familiar with and figure out how long we've been gone. And then if it hasn't been that long, make sure that we still have our room.
Right, just to verify, it's been so long. We're in Galt right now, right?
Correct.
Like
Gotcha.
outside of it, yeah.
Right. The only reason why I remember that is because I'm still wearing my duster from Galt, which I labeled Galton Duster.
Golden Dusty.
We can go to the
clothes or-
sheriff, Mouser,
Beat 'em up.
or Feline.
Who's the one who's told us to go check out the wizard? Because they were like, you have two options. You can go to the wizard's tower, or I don't even remember the second option now.
Just talk to the creepy dude that waved at me from the corner of the bar.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
true. Or we can go to the finely dressed woman that approached you. The orc was name was Watts.
Oh, yeah. Keebles DeGeebles would know where to go.
Yeah, yeah, he was the Jeebles. Looking through my notes.
I think talking to Mouser would be a good idea.
Yeah.
And
Well,
then,
no.
like,
Hey,
I
we're still
guess,
alive.
Taking a nap would be a good idea.
yeah, taking a nap sounds good. And then I think before that, we were just still trying to get to.
Oh, you know
Passage.
what we can do? We can just go to the innkeeper and be like, hey, we want rooms. Also,
there you
what
go.
year is it? What's the day and year?
I suggest going to the sheriff only because he knew exactly when we left.
What was that?
What the
Fuck.
fuck was that?
That scared me.
Good lord.
Your
I think it
audio
just came out of your microphone.
Yeah,
Oh.
your audio hiked for like a split second, and it sounded like the noise you put on top of a jump scare.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was like a straight up demonic screech.
It
It
was
sounded like
very-
one of Marshall's sound bites.
Exactly. Anyways, I see what you mean. However, I think it would be more very prudent for us to get that rest that we deserve. What time of day is it, by the way?
Sun is still in the sky.
Low.
But it's not like high. It's sort of waning. So I don't know. I don't think any of you have a sundial on you, but probably around like 2 p.m. or so. It is the afternoon.
No, I don't. Nor do I have that that common magical item.
Listen, I don't want to assume, okay?
Do you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
We can hear you now.
I can't hear any of you. Okay, one second.
Oh,
Ah,
I love headphones.
right? They're great.
His headphones might be goofy.
My
hmm
this is,
There we go.
This will
Okay.
happen with my interface for some reason recently. It's the like I'll have to unplug the interface and plug it back in. That's what I had to do when we first joined the call. I get that. It's I get it.
Yeah, my audio jack was slightly loose. And in reconnecting it, it deactivated my headphones and not my mic. So
Oh,
Great.
Cool.
That would
But yeah,
also explain why techno demons were coming out of there.
exactly, yeah. But yeah, no. So I only say go to the sheriff first, as they knew when we left, and so they would be able to give us like an approximation of how long it's been.
okay. We'll take our shoes off before we go into the house. Let's go take care of this real quick, and then
Yeah.
we'll go to the inn and pass out for 2 days.
Only 2.
So I guess we're going to Mouser, Sheriff Mouser,
You got the full name, don't you?
Sheriff Mouser Kibblesberg.
Yeah.
I was
Mauser Kibblesberg.
Yep, this dude doesn't play Kirby.
right. My English is my first language. Anyways, we go over to Mouser.
It's okay.
You say that. But
You
who's
say
the
that.
one struggling to say all the Spanish words on there? Baby bingo.
I have a speech impediment in Spanish, so screw you.
It's so ironic, honestly.
It really is. I did a lot of speech therapy classes for English, so I can sound like this. But in Spanish, it's not the same thing, and it's different mouth movements. So I have a weird chin, as everybody can see from the viewpoint. And I only hope that any future spawn of mine will have that corrected, or have it to the point where it's just comical. In which case,
It's
it'll
just
be fine.
even more.
And I knew all of
Yes.
this, which is why I took away Dak's voice, and definitely not because I'm a sadist.
Precisely.
Yeah. So if y'all want to go visit the sheriff, you can visit the sheriff.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you mosey on over. Sheriff's office still has the front window is completely blown out. There is still mess everywhere from when you fought the werewolf, because that just happened.
Is the bloodstain of where I died still there?
It looks like it has been swept away. Maybe the combination of somebody like either sweeping that area, or just like the natural winds blowing through the town have sort of like blown away a lot of that refuse that was there.
Gotcha. Dak does stare at that spot for a little bit too long as we're walking past it.
You go to the sheriff's office and step inside, and you see that Feline, the mouse deputy, has a cute little broom and dustpan, and he is in the process of trying to sweep up some broken glass off of the floor, while there's just like this giant stack of broken wood and brick and just like dirt and all kinds of things. And he's just kind of trying to sweep up some of the little broken glass. Oh gosh! Oh goodness golly! You're back. Good to see you all again. Hey, Mauser, the people from before, the strangers that fought the werewolf, they're back. And slinking out from around the corner, you see Mauser, still dressed up in his full duds, revolvers on both hips. Kind of tips the hat to you. Well, all right. Good to see you all again.
Good to see you too. Just a quick question for you, and this might come off as strange. How long has it been since we left?
You know, I think I left my sundial at home. But if I were to guess, based on the positioning of the sun,
We're more.
About 2 hours or so.
Oh, that's it. Oh,
Were you expecting to be gone longer?
Maybe, you know,
it felt longer at the very least. Above board, approximately how long did we spend in the tower?
Well,
It had
it's
to have
tough
been-
because obviously our sessions are so distant from each other.
it was like 10 sessions though, so it's been like several, like many months at least.
I would say
I think it was
above
10.
board, we're looking at a couple of hours just within the tower itself, easily.
Yeah.
And then arriving on the island, traveling to the village, being at the village, then traveling from the village to the cliffside, going into the cave, maneuvering through the cave, having the encounters within the cave, main skeleton, traversing back out into the tower. Easily like 8 or 9 hours, like a full day's worth of events.
Okay. So basically, we've been gone for the amount of time that we spent in the tower, and most of the time that we spent on the island seems to have not passed here.
You might be more on the nose than you think.
Man, it was only 8 or 9 hours. God, it feels like so much longer.
It took us years to do.
Oh man, it felt like forever, huh?
You know,
We've-
that's why
we've
that's
been-
inherently why one of the memes for this whole series is the, all right, guys, now it's going to start picking up.
Yeah. So with that revelation, I think Set will just kind of go,
Happened
Oh.
again.
okay. Yeah. All right. Well, that's it. Okay. Well, we got the lycanthropy taken care of, but we are all
Oh, just like that?
exhausted, and we're gonna go. Trust me, it's a long story. Where if you want to hear more, you can hear about it in like 2 days when we've all rested.
We need to sleep.
Oh, well, yeah. And you all, pretty sure you all had a chance to visit the tavern there earlier. They got rooms upstairs. If you ask them about it, they'll be able to get you all set up.
Oh yeah,
Thank
no,
God.
we had
I'm pretty sure we had
were
one
there
there.
last night. I think we were just hoping that we were only going to be there last night, but here we are.
Yeah. So
Well, you're welcome to stay as long as you want, unless you bring another werewolf with you, in which case I will have to politely ask you to leave our town.
trust me, we don't want that to happen again either.
Yeah, we didn't intend for that.
Yes, unfortunate, but yeah, we're gonna go hot bath, rest for a while. Appreciate it, and that will just kind of stroll off, looking
Now hold on a
utterly
minute.
defeated.
Now hold on. You said you got the whole
forces.
lycanthropy thing figured out,
Yeah.
Yep.
but you did it in the past couple of hours here.
There's a
He ain't
lot.
licked
There's a
no
whole
more
lot when it comes to
Like
that
like I
tower.
said,
So what you're saying is that you didn't go and visit Heebles of the Jeebles.
He will
No.
see
I
I
told you we
the
were going
Jeebles.
to the tower.
yeah, we went to the tower.
I thought.
Told you that we were going to tempt the wizard.
No, you did. You did. You got to understand. While you were gone, something did happen.
Oh,
The Heebles and the
Here.
Jeebles
You see, old Bill Parker showed up
Bill
at the tavern.
Parker.
And old Bill
Classic
Parker
Bill.
ain't been around these parts for a long time. And old Bill Parker stumbled into the tavern. And he is hooting and hollering. He's shouting about curses and witches and terrors and evil things. And then he slumps over on one of the saloon tables, and he was dead as a doornail. I swear, man was speaking and a breathing just seconds before, and then he was gone.
Big old Billy?
But when we investigated Bill Parker's body, we took a look at his hands. And on one hand, on the back of it, was a large black spot. And the other hand had been cut off and replaced with a silver hook. Now, he's had that for years, but the black spot was new. We had never seen that
I
before.
was about to be like,
Jesus.
this has to be a meme. Something about that. The second you were like, it's a hook, I'm like, something about this is a meme. This can't be a real plot point that somebody's replacing hook hands.
I have had this unlock for several months. But see, legend has it that anyone who bears the mark of the black spot is a victim of either one of two things. Either they're going to be visited by pirates, or they ran afoul of Heebles of the Jeebles.
Oh,
How many people has this happened to that it is a legend?
I guess
But
enough.
14.
I'll count that as enough.
14. But we're landlocked. What pirates are... Heebles and the Jeebles?
Well, we were already told inevitably to avoid Heebles Digibles when we arrived, or when we
Heebles
first
of the Jeebles. Thank you.
Sorry,
But
Heebles
yes,
and the
you had-
Jeebles.
You had already warned us inevitably, which was partly why we had gone to the tower, was that initially you inevitably told us to ignore or, to leave, not interact with him. But,
Well,
so no, we did not run afoul of him either.
well, that's good, but it's also bad because it means we still don't know why Bill Parker ended up getting that old black spot. So we're going to have to figure that out eventually.
Well-
You're a sheriff. Listen.
That sounds like a not today problem. And Set will continue leaving to go sleep.
There should be some sort of police
I
force
do.
in this town.
I mean,
I don't
despite
trust cops. Damn it. I didn't want to break.
Y'all ever heard of this ACAB concept?
I'm a full supporter of it. I, the sheriff of this town.
I don't see a thin blue line because cats are colorblind.
Oh, man.
While I do inherently see the... Yes, well, I would say we would like to obviously check, be sensitive to the concern. I do have to agree in that one way or the other, until somebody else runs afoul, or someone else comes in, or anybody can interact with Heebles and Dejeebles, we we're not going to be able to get an answer on whether or not this is maybe somebody framing him. Because, I mean, obviously somebody could just put a black spot on someone's hand, place a curse on them, and then make themselves believe if this is already a lore, right? Someone else could have heard about this. And so, yeah, I mean, inevitably we would need to get someone else, or whenever we would need to get in conversation with him, and giving the apparent risk that clearly involves, that's why we can't do it today.
That has already left the building.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, he's gone. Well, that sure is a lot of words that you just said. But I'll tell you what. You all go, get yourself situated back at the tavern, get yourself a good night's rest. Ain't you still got a place you're trying to get to anyhow?
Or don't we?
Passage.
Well, there you go. Don't you worry about all the problems our little town has. Go get yourself some sleep, get yourself ready tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, I think if we need, I mean, thank you for, I guess, for giving us that, but, you know, at least as Wooby, I mean, obviously we have seemingly we have all the rest of the day here still, so, you know, we'll at least be able to get to know a bit more. But it is probably good that we do make our way to passage sooner than that. So thank you for that.
Now, you all get... Feline and I still got a lot of cleaning to do around here. It's still quite a bit of a mess. Ain't that right, Feline? And Feline's like finished scooping up some of the broken glass on the floor. Be careful where you step, all right? There's a lot of broken glass around.
Waves and leaves the building to fall after set.
All right.
So I'm just torturing my cat.
As you should.
He's so squishy.
He's had it go for too long.
Mhm.
Cuteness is a thing.
Set
All right.
immediately talks to the innkeep as soon as they arrive.
Yep, we'll smash cut to you being back in the inn. It is just as busy as it was last time you were in there. Just filled with people. Many of them hanging out at the bar. A lot of them have taken tables or booths all around. There is a gentleman sitting down at a player's piano off on the side, just playing away at the keys. A lot of dinner plates and food items and steins full of ale and various refreshments are just like magically sort of floating all around, moving between the tables. It is a full on hootenanny they got going on.
Hootenanny. Even with old Billy Bob gone. Billy
His
Bob
body's still there.
Yes, so I don't know if we had extended our rooms for another evening. We were originally planning to stay one night. We're going to need our rooms for another night. And could you also direct us to the best place to get a nice hot bath?
Oh yeah, we've got baths right upstairs as well. Yes. It'll be an extra silver piece for each of you, but you can get baths if you like.
As soon as they say extra silver piece, done, and Set just like hands the money over, and it's
And
like,
there we go. Okay. Yep, I will mark you down. What were your names again, please?
Set. And list off like all of the other party members because we all had our own individual rooms, right?
Yes. I'm also trying to
Yes.
remember we came here under false names. I don't think so.
No. Unless you felt like lying, no.
Here's the problem. I could have felt like lying. But now I don't know. Oh well.
Would we still have had our keys on us, or
No, I think we turned those in because we weren't intending on being
Okay.
here. We were gonna be leaving when we were gonna. That's because we were gonna give the word to Mauser, and then move away. Like we were gonna let Mauser know what happened the night before. Then we were gonna go.
Mhm.
We are gonna talk to the guard in passage to essentially try to get like reinforcements, essentially. And then the werewolf fucked us up. So.
right? Yeah, I'll give them the information that they ask for and be like, yeah, we just need a room for another night. Rest up after everything that's happened.
Right, very well. I'm sorry, you mentioned the name Silva, correct?
Yes.
I have something here, and he kind of reaches underneath the bar. One of our patrons, they said that a Silva ran out in a bit of a hurry, and they wanted to give something to them. They pulls out a little pouch, drawstring pouch. This is from Mr. Cassowary Dubois, for Silva.
Oh,
Oh
I
yeah,
know
we
it.
met
Okay.
Cassowary here.
Yes, we did.
At this point, I would imagine the rest of the party is walking back in the door, and I'll just kind of take the pouch and just kind of toss it over to Silva. That's from Cassowary, Silva. We have rooms for another night. Hot baths as well. Thank you. I'm gonna go take use of that hot bath. Really use it.
Oh, thank God.
That will hurry off, take a bath, and then immediately go to his room and fall asleep.
No, yeah. If any of you wish to go get your baths, there's these like large brass bathtubs set up in individual rooms. A fresh towel is provided, and you can just sort of relax.
that wizard
And-
stank off.
Yeah.
During the bath, Dak is going to go underwater.
Okay.
Just stay there.
What happens to Dak when he goes underwater?
You submerge yourself. You're submerging yourself fully, right? Like you're saying, like going full.
Yeah.
You feel the sensation of water entering, trying to fight its way into like your nasal passages in your mouth, and like your instinct is to, kind of keep everything closed off.
Mm-hmm.
But as you sit there in the water, you feel it rushing into your ears, up through your nose. And you're waiting for the moment where your lungs will begin to tighten and you'll feel the need to breathe, that impulsive need to inhale something, anything. But it never comes.
I think Dak remains there submerged for a good while for the remainder of his bath.
Okay.
Yeah, because he doesn't know how to feel about this fully.
All right. Does anyone else want to try and see if they can breathe underwater?
Um,
No, I'm not. I'm not really planning on that.
yeah, I think I'm okay.
Okay.
You should.
Just
It's a lot of
checking.
fun. It's a good time.
All right. Are you all going to go ahead and turn in for the day, or was there anything else you wanted to do or discuss or anything before doing so? Silva, you've been provided with that drawstring pouch from Cassowary. Pretty light in your hands. It's not like especially heavy, but there's something inside of it for sure.
I am going to we're gonna long rest, I'm assuming. So I'm gonna try to cook some treats
Okay.
before going to bed.
Oh, I'll also hand over the tome to Silva before going to bed.
All right.
Before I go to bed, I make a connection with Set,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't use it immediately.
Interesting.
Mm.
What is it? What is bro cooking?
Nothing tasty. I'm
I
not.
thought you were the one cooking.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Let him cook.
I'm cooking.
So Silva, you are now in possession of Cressius's magical tome as well as the small drawstring pouch.
Grecius's magical diary. Dear diary. I was an ass with these groups of people.
It's one of those electronic diaries that you could get at the book fair.
Like the My Princess locking ones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we can finally allow everyone a long rest. If there's nothing else I want to do for the evening, I'm sure you would all greatly welcome it.
Please.
I will at some point in the night communicate over to Set. Set.
What, Dak?
What did you give up when you came back?
I wasn't asked to give anything up.
Oh,
Dak, if you remember, I was brought back by a revivify, like a resurrection spell. You did not have any such spell cast.
oh. Good night, Set.
Good night, Dak.
Set.
Good night, Dak.
Were you scared?
Yes and no. I was dead.
Scared. Set.
I was more scared when I was brought back.
Are you still scared of it happening again?
No.
I am. Don't know if I have something else to bug him next time.
Do not judge yourself by the standards of others, Dak. Just because I'm not scared of death anymore. At least to the extent of, worrying about it coming. Doesn't mean you're not allowed to be. So just get some rest. And all will be better.
I understand. Good night, Seth.
Night, Dak.
I'm glad you're here.
So am I.
And Dak will go to bed at that point.
All right. All of you find sleep. And you may all take a full rest.
Finally.
At long last.
Spells that I can't cast.
That level of exhaustion
long
that I gained
rest.
now lost.
Now, Silva,
I'm no
you may
longer
have lost a level of exhaustion, but you all gained a level.
Oh,
Of trauma.
Of trauma.
true.
Yes, exactly. Of trauma.
I mean, that's what D&D levels are.
Oh, 100%.
Collective trauma.
You
Weaponized.
by gaining experience, you are also given trauma. Therefore,
Experience is just a code word for trauma.
Right.
You are all now level 6.
Hell yeah.
And as the morning greets you, you all awaken with a renewed sense of energy and purpose.
you say determination. I meant
bless you.
That's you.
Salute.
All of you awaken in your beds, having had dreamless sleep. It is the morning. What would you like to do?
that classic millennial humor really kicked itself in for a moment. Every time you get that, what would you like to do? Millennial brain, insert ending yourself joke here.
it all gone.
I think immediately on waking up, Seth is just going to go downstairs, grab something quick to eat, go back upstairs, and just meditate and just kind of center themselves and focus.
That's good because you get 4 extra hours to do that before we even wake up.
Yeah.
True.
You don't get the grand buffet that you experienced when you were at that Gold Dragon Inn a little ways back, but they do have fresh pancakes made.
Hell yeah.
Yo.
You know, the chains, they got the budget. It's the whole thing.
Right. Dak will roll out of bed, crawl down the stairs, fall down the rest of them, grab something to eat, and then, like a slug, kind of slide back up the stairs and back into his room and eat.
Make a dexterity check for me, please.
Absolutely. 19.
You smoothly slither your way back up the stairs. And as you do so, your head bumps somebody's boot.
Dak will, instead of like lifting his head up, will just roll over to look up.
In the peripheral of your vision, you see upside down a long, black, tattered sleeve ending in a silvery hook.
Does it belong to a person?
Wait, say that again?
The hook from what's his face and his name? Bill Parker. Bill Barker.
Bob Barker.
Bob Barker. Here we go.
John Madden.
It was only a matter of time before we got there. You blink your eyes in confusion, and you no longer see the curved, sharp hook. You see a regular person's hand reaching down to you, just some gentleman saying, "You all right there, son? You need somebody to help you up?"
I'm going to take a bite out of the whatever breakfast I found that is usually able to be taken upstairs. I'm going to shake my head and continue my slithering.
"Oh, you're one of them weirdos. I'm going to leave you to it." And he just kind of walks around you and heads downstairs.
like to
You're one
imagine
of
like
them
that.
weirdos, guy.
I just like to imagine Dak like holding like an entire pancake with both hands and just like scurrying away like a rat.
Yes. That's exactly what happens. And you know he's got like 7 other like sleeves of pancakes in his pockets already.
So, anybody else? We know that Set's gonna go ahead and meditate. Dak is taking his pancakes back upstairs. What are the other two of you doing?
I'm gonna go. I'll eat downstairs.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I will.
You,
I will head downstairs like a normal person and eat down there.
What do you mean by that? It's just,
what's the implication here?
right. What are you trying to say?
Yeah, I mean, you all can absolutely join the other townsfolk downstairs. There's good 9 or 10 people downstairs. Few of them at collected tables. Most of them just kind of silently eating their breakfast. So few are having conversations with each other. There's 2 people kind of holed up in the corner. They got like what looks like this really ancient looking chessboard between them with all these pieces that have like they're carved into like various different like dragons heads, and they appear to be playing some sort of a chess game with each other. But other than that, not too much crazy going on in the inn itself.
That's good.
Mhm.
I'm gonna let those people play their game and just go get a plate and find an empty table.
Mm-hmm. It's easy for you to do so. Most of the townsfolk don't really recognize you, so nobody approaches you or anything. They just kind of leave you be, and you're able to just kind of find your own little table to sit at.
All right. Anything noteworthy about the stuff I'm eating? Is there any good innovation?
You could make
With glass.
musical guest filled with glass. You don't have this yet. Yeah, so go ahead and roll a d20 for me.
Oh, okay.
And then you're gonna add 3 to it.
Oh, 8.
Okay, you try to harness your culinary expertise, and everything tells you that these aren't just pancakes; they're wheat cakes.
Oh.
Yeah.
I enjoy good wheat cake.
Ooh, wheat, yuck, gross, wheat, yuck, ew, ew, wheat, corn, yeah.
Which is what Silva says as she comes down the stairs.
Sorry, I was remembering my traveling through this mystical land called Iowa days.
Mhm. Set. How long would you like to meditate for?
Probably going to be meditating until I would think that everyone is about wrapping up breakfast. And like we would be heading out after that, I would imagine. So just kind of getting to that point, since I woke up, I got my full rest much quicker than everyone else, just making use of that time.
Okay, understood. Silva and Johannes, you have gotten downstairs now. You've also gotten your breakfast.
Yeah.
Yes. I'll enjoy breakfast with Johannes.
You sleep okay?
Oh, I slept just fine. A horrid nightmare. Weird. Strange creature waking me.
A treasure chest trying to eat you. Wizards trying to destroy your life.
Well, there is a wizard trying to destroy my life, but unfortunately in my own body, I can't do anything.
Are we are the forks aren't silver, are they, that we're eating with? Or forks? Or anything like that?
No, they're like tin.
Oh, okay.
You can tell, it's that stupid
It's like
tin.
I was gonna see it go in Silva's mouth and be like,
Ah!
it just starts melting. Well, I feel like it's been quite a long time since we've had the open road before us. I guess today we get back on the road to passage.
I think it's best. Well, it would be good to potentially figure out what happened yesterday. Unfortunately, one way or the other, I need to. We have our own reasons to get up to the passage. Also, there's an old Navy man that I need to that needs to meet the underside of my shoe.
Understood.
Oh,
Wait, wasn't it the sheriff that told us about the Wizard's Tower, or was it just some rando
No, it's the sheriff.
villager?
He's like, you got two options. Thing I told you not to go to, or
It was, yeah, so Mauser informed you about the Wizard's Tower as well as Heebles and Dejeebles. It was Clarence who you last spoke to before actually visiting the tower. Clarence is the one that told you about the animal experimentation, because if you recall, his adopted daughter, Jezebel, the Gila monster, was one of those experiments that escaped, and he took her in.
Right.
so yeah. No, I mean the real thing about that is the thing of note for that is we truly did make our bed on this one.
Mhm.
Going into that.
Yeah, I think I'm done helping random farmers and random towns and random people for a little while.
Honestly, look, the reality of that one was while it would have potentially been, while it was immediately their problem, it would have very quickly become all of our problem.
That's
And
fair.
so in reality, I'm more happy that we dealt with it here rather than in the middle of the field, where potentially we wouldn't have made it anywhere near anybody in time to deal with it. Well,
Valid.
granted, maybe
Me.
maybe Hebels would have been a better option. We don't know that yet, but maybe.
Sounds like he's got his own issues.
Well,
What Mauser was saying.
I mean, I feel like out of all the people that we've come around, inevitably, somebody who doesn't like to be crossed is not necessarily out of. It isn't the most uncommon thing that we've seen. If he's at least upfront about it, then inevitably that actually makes it more comforting, because at least then their parameters are generally fairly clear.
That's true.
It's when they're trying to lie to you that it really, and they're or trying to deceive you or hide things, that it becomes more questionable. Like our wizard that we met. While he was helpful,
Wonder if-
while we did get something out of this, we'll have to talk with Sedan when we're on the road more, but we at least are I am cured, and we are at least able to move on.
Here's to that.
Yeah, so I think
Yeah,
just
that's
towards the end of you guys finishing up breakfast, that would have come down. Have any of you seen Dak?
I believe he's still up
No.
in his room. Haven't seen him come down. I've been here.
I'm gonna see if I still have the mental connection with Dak from last night, if he broke that or not, and try to reach out to him.
I probably would have dissipated by that point.
Okay. In that instance, after unsuccessfully trying to mentally reach out to Dak, that will go up to Dak's room to collect them.
All right.
Just gonna. Dak, about to head out. You ready?
Dak does open the door. He has a wheat cake in his mouth, and he's scratching at his the bandage that's over his eye, as is for some reason itchy today, which is going to be the excuse he uses for leveling up. He makes a connection with that. Good morning. We are leaving.
Yes, we're gonna head out. We still have to make it to Passage.
Understood.
Might as well get on the road now. Everyone else has already had breakfast, so
Excuse me. Are hallucinations common before after death experiences?
yes, absolutely.
Understood. Then I am reassured. Allow us to go.
What hallucination? You can tell us later.
Here's the bad thing about the mental communication: it's only two way.
Yeah, it's one at a time. Yeah.
Yep. But I have a spell that I can cast without saying words, so good to go.
That's good.
Yeah, so that will go back down and just kind of gesture to the rest of the group. Dak will be down shortly. Let's make sure we're all ready to go.
Dak is right behind Seth as he says that.
Oh, I thought you had to grab stuff. Never mind then. So let's, if you guys are ready, let's go ahead and head out.
Dak
Let's go.
grabs 7 more wheat cakes, shoves them in his pockets, gives a thumbs up.
All right. Gonna move on then.
Okay. You all step outside of the inn. Nice morning sun beaming down on you. The rest of the town is starting to slowly wake up and beginning to move about in between all the buildings. You don't see Sheriff Mauser or his deputy there. And you also don't see your ride.
Oh yeah, where are our horses? I almost forgot about our talking
Oh, yeah.
horses.
It has been so long.
We not take them to the tower?
No, the tower was
thought
close
we
enough, so we walked. We left them at the inn stable, so I would imagine, just talking to the stable boy, figuring out what's going on.
I mean, that's our first step.
You
Baja and
stacking up like these bales of hay kind of over to the side.
Excuse me, have you seen our horses? We can't seem to find them.
Sorry, sir. What were their names?
It just kind of looks over to Johannes. You and Dax seem to speak with them more. What were their names again?
Baja and
Hush puppy.
yes.
Aha and Hush Puppy.
Oh, yes. They're actually. They asked if they could go inside the tavern to play a game of Dragon's Chess. I believe they're in there right now.
They're the weirdos playing Dragon's Chess. Okay. Got it. We'll head back inside and
you step back inside the tavern, and knowing now what you're looking for, you look to the right, and you see that the 2 odd gentlemen that were sitting in the corner are, in fact, 2 horses, very awkwardly sitting in chairs, loosely wearing like poor-fitting clothing over them with fake mustaches and glasses. And you look to the bartender, and the bartender, who is in the process of polishing a glass, looks up at you and says, "Don't give me that look. They paid me money. If you've got money, we'll serve you here. That's how it works." And he just goes back to polishing the glass.
entirely valid. Baja, Hush Puppy. We're
Good morning, Sat.
we're heading out to continue on our passage.
Excellent. We should be, then we shall head out straight away. What do you think, Baja? And the other horse takes their hoof and just like knocks over several of the pieces. It's like, yeah, dude, pretty sure I just got like checkmate on you. So, yeah, we can get going. Very well then, Baja.
Oh, I love these guys.
So the horses leave their game of Dragon's Chess and accompany you back outside. The carriage is still right off to the side of the inn there, still strapped away.
As they walk out, I am absolutely looking at the reactions of the other people, like in the tavern eating breakfast.
You don't know if you're like shocked or disappointed that like no one's reacting to this.
They're just used to talking.
I'm absolutely disappointed that no one's reacting to it.
Yeah.
All right, then just head outside and
So they get themselves hooked back in to the wagon there. All right then. Looks like we've got plenty of daylight ahead of us. Should be able to make it to Passage. What do you think, Baha? Probably by midday? Yeah, dude. As long as we take the main road, we should be there within a matter of like a few hours at most.
cool. Let's go ahead and get to it then.
All right, everybody, keep your hands and feet inside of the wagon at all times.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, you all...
They say to Set, who is actively climbing on top of the carriage to go sit on top.
So you all clamber into the wagon, and Hush Puppy and Baha take off, riding off through the town, and kicking up dust as they go, and a couple of the townsfolk just sort of haphazardly wave to you as you go by. You see Clarence now holding Clarabelle in his arms, and Clarabelle with her little lizard hand waves goodbye to you. She's got a nice velvet bow tie now wrapped around her neck.
No.
And just as you're kind of exiting out of the town, you see Mauser and Feline standing there. Mauser gives you a little tip of the hat. And you all ride off, barreling off out of sight, out of the town, and straight towards what should be greener pastures as you make your way now, at last, to the city of Passage.
We made it.
Yeah.
We're free.
So,
Wink out their dragon on the way there.
the next time that we meet, you will have arrived at Passage.
Ooh.
Hooray.
So this evening, as we wrap up here, if there's anything that you would like to take care of or work out before you reach the city limits, we can do so right now. We can also save it for the start of next week, depending on how complex the thing is you want to do. But this is essentially your travel time. This is your moment to kind of anything you want to do in downtime. As you are traveling,
Nice.
you may do so.
I think first set is just going to be going over that tome with Silva at a certain point. If it's going to not be a very long trip, probably just let Silva be like, Silva, if you're going to be taking a look through that, just keep an eye out for anything about House Theranis.
I want to see if I can teach Dak to cook.
Okay. That
You don't
is
get a
going
choice.
to require.
Dak
Ooh,
will be
goodness.
using the bread in his pockets as cooking.
We're
materials.
gonna break
I
down.
was going to say you'll need to have some sort of cooking materials and ingredients, but you can definitely use your downtime to teach Dak a skill.
We're gonna learn how to cook, even if it's all mental,
Mm.
hypothetical.
cook. Jesse, we gotta cook.
Jesse, you have a wheat cake and a pouch of 1 tablespoon of spices at a time.
Where have we gone to?
These
Are we done?
Duck confit.